Hello. Would you like to know how home stagers are growing their business with social media? And would you also like to know how much time you're supposed to spend on social media, which are the best sites for home stagers to go to? And what's the return on investment of your time or if you've hired someone to do it? Well, today on the show, we've got two experts. I'm hoping that Red Baranevo will show up. I know he had a client prior to being on the show, but hopefully he'll pop in. If not, I can read from my notes from there. But in the next 30 minutes, we're going to be talking about social media and the best sites for home stagers. And we'll take a look at the different types of sites and why you want to be on those sites. So my name is Dana Smithers. I wrote the book, Start and Run, a Home Staging Business. You can get it either at the library or you can get it at Amazon. And it's quite interesting when I go back and look at what I said about social media in the book. Lots has happened. I wrote this book in 2010. It was published in 2011. So just even in that short time, social media has just exploded. And there are even more social media sites than ones that I even talked about there. And some of the ones I talked about are no longer popular sites. So it's kind of interesting to watch the social media movement. So I would like to introduce Louise Henry, who is with us today. And I really am hoping that Red will be able to make the show. If not, we'll have to do another one. But what I liked about having Red of Redesign for More on the show is because he's in the Toronto market. And he actually built his business using social media. He had very, very limited meetings with realtors, but he got himself established as an expert just by using social media. So we're going to talk about that, and hopefully he will be here. Louise Henry, though, on the other hand, so we've got someone in Toronto and then in the East, and we've got somebody on the West Coast. So Louise Henry is in the West Coast, and Louise's market is much smaller, 88,000 people in the city of Chilliwack. So Louise, welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome. Thank you.
So Louise, you and I were talking about a little bit about how you even got into the industry. So why don't you share that with us, with the audience?
I started back in 2007. I took Dana Smithers' course, Press Home Staging, and that's where I started out in Vancouver.
And then, prior to that, though, weren't you flying around in the air a lot?
Prior to that, I worked in the airline industry, yes, for a good number of years. 25 years I was with Air Canada, Pacific Western, and Canadian Airlines out of Vancouver. So it was a really different, for me to go from the corporate world to being self-employed was certainly a big change for me, but one that I've embraced, and I wouldn't turn back now. I love every moment of it. I love the opportunities and challenges that it brings being staging homes.
Yeah, well, that's really good to hear, because I've noticed on a lot of the social media sites that I'm checking out as well that a lot of people have been doing this for a lot of years, and they're a little bit disgruntled with a few things that they're doing. And I know that you were talking about renovations and how you just recently changed your business model.
That's true. I started out doing renovations when I lived in Vancouver. I used to buy and sell properties, some investment properties, renovate them and sell them. And then when I started doing the staging, we were doing staging and renovations. So that was a big part of my business, but it was great at that time because, you know, it takes time to build a business. And with the renos, the work came quicker than it did for the staging. So now I'm busy enough that I can actually say that, you know, this is no longer something that works for me. So I decided to, you know, my husband will keep doing the reno side of the business, but for me, I'll be working strictly with the home staging vacant properties and occupied homes.
Good, that's great. So we're going to talk about which social media sites you're on, but I just wanted to remind everybody that this is probably what you feel like, right? you're going from one social media site to the other, and you're trying to, you know, juggle all this stuff all of the time. So I'm hoping by the end of this Hangout show that you'll take a look at which sites you're on and see which ones are really good return on investment, mainly of your time, because that's what it takes. We know that they're very low cost way to market, but you know, we can't be on all the sites that there are. And I wanted to talk to Louise and Red as well about, you know, we have sites, social media sites, where we find our peers. So Louise, maybe we'll talk about that first. What sites do you go on to see what your colleagues are doing or what's going on in the staging world for other stagers?
Okay. When I first started out, I was going on all sites, trying to figure out, you know, where do I advertise? Google AdWords? Do I go on Kijiji? Do I do Craigslist? I tried a number of things when I first started out. Now I'm more streamlined in that I use Hootsuite, which allows me to go on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. So I do those three when I do some advertising marketing of my work. I do a little bit on Kijiji, and I use Houzz as well. So they're my basic go-to for showcasing my work.
Okay, so that's to showcase you and profile you as an expert then.
Yes.
Good.
And for connecting with other realtors, it could be through LinkedIn, it could be through Facebook, or it would be the two primary ones that I would do to connect with some realtors.
Right. And so with those sites that you're connecting with, say for other stagers, I know that Facebook, a lot of those I'm on, the groups in particular, like there's Home Staging Group, there's RESA groups, and I know for a lot of the stagers that are trained by other training schools, like Prez has a site and CSP has a site, and I know that Jana Osselton in Texas has a really good site. So a lot of people are on, stagers are on those sites to connect. Now, how about LinkedIn? Do you go on there to the group discussions and things? Do you spend much time?
I do some of the discussions because I find some of the topics can be, you know, they're good. Like they might have an issue of some sort to do with, you know, staging, or it could be a client. It could be anything. Somebody's looking for information. How do I handle this particular situation? It could have been something that I've already been through. It could be, you know, about maybe somebody paying for an additional month in rental or something like that. There's always various companies. So where I can share information about my experience, I will share that with somebody who has posted something if they have a question, or somebody might be sharing something that they have found out that has worked for them. I go, oh yeah, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
That can work. So, yeah, LinkedIn's great for that, and it's more it's a professional group.
Yes, and I think as far as LinkedIn goes, definitely you can find professional realtors on LinkedIn, so you can start following them and start conversations or discussions with them. But also with the, you know, there's staging and redesigners, there's home stagers, there's Canadian stagers, there's RESA groups, and I really find that the staging community is very cooperative. Like I've always said, I'm not in competition with anybody else, and when I taught, I didn't want people to use that word competition. You know, we're just collaborators. We share information, and on a lot of those LinkedIn sites, as well as Facebook, there are people from North America, right? There's Canadians in smaller markets, Canadians in bigger markets. There's people from the States, have much bigger markets, some that have smaller. So there's really nice camaraderie that goes on, and I really find people very helpful with those peer group sites. And then the other site that I wanted to talk about was where you're becoming the expert. Now, I know, you know, some of the more picturesque ones, visual, you know, there's Pinterest, there's, well, I never used Instagram, so I can't talk about that, but Houzz is a very good one. So what's your experience been like on those, Louise?
I've had a very good response with Houzz. So I post my projects on there. when I use a professional photographer, like obviously, you know, I don't use a professional photographer for every job, but we're the ones that I feel that can stand out the most, or I would hire a professional photographer, and those pictures I put on Houzz, because
Nice.
the quality of pictures that you put on Houzz should always be a really good high resolution picture. So I would but I would actually put my pictures on Houzz for those projects.
Right. And are you a Pinterest user much?
I don't use Pinterest at all. Not
Okay.
at all.
Yeah.
I really do love the Houzz. I find it's a great interior design site, and I've had good feedback. Like I would be in a store and, you know, somebody said, "Oh, I see you all over Houzz." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's good.
That's good.
To know, right?" So
Right.
I don't know how often I'm on, you know, I'm not on there personally a lot myself, but I do put my projects on there, and I also get clients to, if they can, do a review for me. And this year, Fair Home Design won a 2015 service award for outstanding customer service.
Oh, congratulations.
So that was very exciting.
And did you do that by asking your clients to post their comments? And
yes,
yeah, that's
they
great.
posted because I had quite a few reviews, and they were all obviously met a certain criteria that is measured by Houzz, and so then they presented an award.
Wow, fabulous. Yeah, I know a lot of stagers do have on their website as well Houzz awards that they've won, so that's great because that positions you more as an expert. So when I started to do this, talk to stagers about doing the social media hangout show, I had asked Judith Burzell, who's very, very well known in the industry, just a few questions about what she uses. And Judith has had very, very good success with Google+. So Google is a platform that I've been playing in this space for about the last year. And I noticed that Red Villanueva also has started up some home staging communities in the Google+ area. So Judith said that was really big for her. Pinterest, Houzz for sure, and then there was another one called Porch. And I'm not familiar with Porch. I looked it up, but I just went, this is what happened for me. It's like, okay, I can't take on another site, right? Like I have to look at the ones where I'm really going to do something. Judith also said that Facebook didn't seem to be one for her. She had poor results with it for attracting clients. But as she said, she knows a lot of other people have had great success with that. And I know that Red uses Facebook. And in fact, that's where I first started noticing him. And a few other stagers, you know, posting some of the projects that they did as well. So, Louise, for you, how often do you post? I know in the beginning it was sort of frantic because we sort of didn't have a guideline and we couldn't really think of how often do we do that. How often would you say you post?
I post, I go through phases, right? I do a phase where I will plan for a month in advance. So I'll pick my topic for a month for each day, and then I can spend a few hours on Hootsuite and post in advance. So I go through that and I'll do that for a month, and then I may not do it for the next month, and then I'll start it up again. So if I see an interesting article that pertains to my industry or something I'm also passionate about, I'm passionate about sailing. So if I see something that might be of interest, I'll mix them up a little bit between work and play, and I'll mix it up also with community events. So, you know, if I see something that's going on in the community, I will share that, because I think it's important to have a balance between the work, play, and also for people to learn a little bit about you as a person, to build a relationship.
Exactly. And I think that is how you've gained such good market share in Chilliwack, because I think I went and looked at your posts, and you're right. Like I was just looking in Facebook, like it allows me to know something about you.
Yes.
Right. And if you're looking for realtors or, you know, home sellers, if you know their names, it's always nice to connect with them.
Yes.
Right.
So I would say, you know, on average, 3 times a week that I would post something of some sort, whether it's reposting something that I've seen that I like or something of my own. It's a mixture.
Right. And I just wanted to now talk about engagement, getting engagement, because this is something interesting with the law of attraction, right? This is what we say. It's, you know, it's not just the words, it's not just what you're posting, but it's how you feel about what you say or think. So if you're just posting for the sake of posting, it's like, yeah, you know, I was listening to people and everybody says you need to get on social media and you have to post. That's not really going to attract you, the type of clients that you want. And since I am a law of attraction trainer and business coach, I just like to stress to people that, you know, share posts that you feel good about. And, you know, every once in a while, I'll post something on my personal one or even on my business one that's a bit silly for me, because I don't really see myself as being that silly. But once in a while, it's like, you know, we got to lighten up. Yeah. If I find something makes me laugh, whether it's a video or just a picture, I'll put it up on my site. So, you know, people that I'm coaching ask me, well, if it's Facebook and it's a personal site, and then you've got your Facebook, your business page. So on this personal page, am I ever allowed to put business stuff? Yeah, of course you can. But people are more interested in looking at what you've got on your business site when you're showing houses or what's going on in the market. But definitely mix them up a little bit. They don't have to absolutely be separate. Although one thing that you need to know about Facebook is that they're always changing the algorithms, which has a lot to do with the search engine optimization, how people are finding you. So you might all of a sudden find that, okay, I was doing this all the time, I had great success, I was getting a lot of engagement, and all of a sudden you're not. Don't freak out about it. Just know that Facebook has probably changed the rules, and I'd get in touch with your techie people to find out what's going on there. So Louise, I wanted to get back to you and talk about what you were saying about your community events, because for those viewers that are in small locations such as you, that's what I'm suggesting to them. Like, know what's going on in your market and make it interesting. And, you know, right now, because it's the time of year where there are a lot of markets are happening, right? A lot of people are more outdoors. So even if they don't like sailing, but you do, it feels good to do those posts, right? So chances are you're going to attract somebody who maybe they're not doing that, but they can feel that, yeah, this is a great post. I like what she's doing. So what would you do for engagement then?
I would do, like with City of Chilliwack, we have lots of events that are ongoing. So
okay.
some I may sponsor an event, like if there's a golf tournament, I may sponsor that. If there's a fundraiser going on with one of the real estate companies, I would donate something to that, or I would do a draw of some sort, buy a gift basket.
Right. And then you would post that on your website, right, that you're doing these things?
I don't generally. Those things are just my community involvement that I just do because I want to do it. I don't really, I'm not doing it for the recognition.
Right.
I'm doing it just to support the community. You know, often when I do something and I give a gift basket, people might take a picture and post it.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. So other things, you know, if I know it's somebody's birthday, I might get them flowers. I engage, I do a cookie program. It's that I offer as a bit of an icebreaker that I do.
What's that? Tell us about that.
Realtors. I wish I had a picture actually. It's actually cookies of a house. They're made out of, in the shape of a house. And so if you're a realtor, as an icebreaker, I bring you cookies.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I talk about, you know, how it would nice to be that, you know, to have a home that is beautifully staged and potential buyers walking through it, how excited they are about how well the show homes. So
the home shows, yeah. And that's something I wanted to talk about too, was realtors. So do you engage with the realtors? Let's say you meet a realtor. Do you go to their social media sites, check them out?
Always. I will connect with them as soon as I meet them. I will connect with them on LinkedIn, and I'll connect with them on Facebook if they're on Facebook. And, you know, Dana, I learned from the best. I learned from you, and you know, and I'm very big on law of attraction as well. I just love it. And it's all in the follow-up. You've always said that, you know, you have to follow up and finding a way that's comfortable. I'm not that phone person that picks up, as you well know. You coached me for a while, and, you know, I'm indebtedly grateful for everything you've shared, because you've been a real icon in our industry, and it's been a real joy. So yeah, the follow-up, and I just find it, I can do that way. Maybe send a card. It's something that I'm more comfortable with, or a little icebreaker to try to find out something that they might be at, or that I can connect with.
Right.
You know, even doing talks in their office if possible.
Right, exactly. So in the previous episode to this, I had a Canadian stager, Sally Weatherly, and a stager from San Diego, Carol Kaplan, who I used to coach, and actually met her at a RISA conference. And we just got to know each other as well virtually, as I've gotten to know a lot of other stagers. But what we've always liked is the fact that you know, we go to people's website first, but then we go to the social media sites. And most realtors are absolutely going to have a profile on LinkedIn. It's because, as you said, like originally LinkedIn was a recruitment social media site, and it's, you know, everything has changed and it'll continue to change, but usually you're going to find the professionals on LinkedIn. But as I said, a lot of staging groups, if you're new to the industry, just do a keyword search with home staging groups. You can get connected. Some of them you have to join, some of them you can join right away. But as far as engagement goes, I noticed that I really got a lot of increase in the likes when I started engaging more, when people would post something and I would either like it, but I'd also put a reply in there. So it's not just about going to as many sites as you can and like. That's no engagement whatsoever, because social media is just the same as going into you know, a pub or a bar or something, right? Because you're talking to people, but you know, it's not just hi and then you think you're going to see them after. You've got to really get engaged. Well, you have to do the same thing virtually on the social media sites that we're talking about. So you know, there is a reason for you to be on social media, and this is where I've met so many other stagers. This is where I've gotten a lot of my clients as well, even though I'm in a little bit of a different industry. But when I was actually staging and redesigning and decorating, I would actually look up people in Facebook right away, because my home sellers and homeowners didn't necessarily have a website, right? I mean, they had no reason to do that, but I could find them in LinkedIn or whatever. And you know, before you start engaging in conversations, you do want to take the time to do a little bit of research about people and find out what they like, what they're up to, those kinds of things. But definitely not stalking. We're not talking about doing it too much. We're just talking about doing it in a very friendly and nice manner. So I'm just going to look and see. I guess, you know what? Red got that staging job and he's out there staging. So hats off to him. I'll have to have him on another time. But I'll just read a little bit about what Red said, that he started with Facebook and Twitter about 4 years ago. He built a really strong audience with that. And he also said he did it because it was two of the biggest and most popular social media platforms at the time. But as I said earlier, when I was saying about my book, so much has changed. Red is definitely Google. I see him a lot in the Google Playground, Twitter and Facebook. And he says that he does most of his posts, he does a lot of researching and reading and blogging in his downtime. He says he has an assistant, so that assistant does jump in sometime. You can definitely hire people. You can go to Fiverr. You can go to, you know, just do some keyword search on social media, inexpensive social media, and you can actually hire people to do it for you. But you want to make sure that they're posting the types of things that you want posted. But again, you have to remember to get the engagement. So you literally do need to sit there, make comments about things, and contribute something that has meaning to people. Well, there we are. Wow. Hello, Red. We're
hey, sorry, I just got in.
That's what I was saying. We've been on for about 27 minutes, and I was just talking about you. So I just said, well, that staging job took him a lot longer, but you know what? That's what happens, right? That's real world
Yeah.
stuff. We're working on something, and away we go. So, Red, why don't you just go? I was just telling people that you started out with Twitter and Facebook. You built a good audience from that, but I'd like for you to talk about the engagement that you got, because you told me that you built your business through social media and not through realtors.
That's true. No, because when I started the business 5 years ago, I have a full-time job, and I don't have time to go around and meet real estate agents and everybody. So the best way for me to do it is through social media. So I started during my downtimes in the office.
Oh, in your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how everything started.
Okay. Can you get your lower third up there, Red? Is that quick to do?
Yes.
Okay, you do that. And then we'll just talk a little bit about, I think that you have, well, I know that you had best of house. Louise was just saying she had best of house customer satisfaction in 2015, yeah. Right, Louise?
Yes, that's correct.
And Red, you have it in 2014.
I have it in 2014, that's right.
Yeah, so that's just great. And then you've got some RESA awards as well?
Yes, I think that was 2013 and then 14 and 15.
Right. So that's pretty impressive. Considering when we had our talk a while ago, you told me you used to be a pharmaceutical rep,
yes.
An investment banker.
Yes.
And how did you get into staging?
I've been doing it for so long. I mean, I love it. I've been decorating homes since I was like 12. So I did my mom's, and then my aunts and my uncles, and then when I moved to Toronto, I started doing it for friends. And then I realized, you know what? Maybe I should just make money out of it and just
instead of doing it for free, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so now you were telling me that your business is, you thought in the Toronto market it would be mainly condos?
Yes. We have like a big share of it is, I started with condos, but now we're into luxury homes, like the multi-million-dollar listings.
Nice.
Now. Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah. Red, I'll just let you get set up there. And Louise, what about your market? I don't think there's many there's some condos in Chilliwack, but do you mainly do homes?
Yes, I mainly do homes. It would be the majority. I do some condos.
Right.
But mostly.
And you have some of your own furniture as well, right?
I have quite a lot of furniture now. I've just got another warehouse. So.
Oh, do you? Okay. So that's working well for you.
Nice.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. And Red, now you said that you had some inventory, but you've got a lot of places around Toronto that you can rent bigger pieces.
I'm really lucky to have a lot of rental companies in downtown Toronto. So there's no sense. I mean, it doesn't really, no matter if you have furniture pieces, but we do have a lot of accessories pieces, and all those small items.
Right.
But the big pieces, we rent it through rental companies.
Right. Okay. Okay. So let's get back to social media then. So tell us a little bit about Google, because I actually got to know you through Facebook, and then I noticed that you got into the Google sandbox there.
Yeah, I've been playing with Google for a while. I mean, I know because I started with Facebook and Twitter, which is a lot less complicated. It's very easy and very straightforward, right? But then I've been thinking about Google a lot of time, but I haven't really done anything to be in it. So this year I decided to open a group. I started a group, the Stagers and Redesigners.
Yeah, that's where I found you.
Yeah, and the main purpose for that is, first, is for me to be in Google, because I know how social media has affected the business, right?
Yes.
And at the same time, I always receive a lot of questions, a lot of asking for advice from a lot of stagers as well on how I did it and how we started, how we did it.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? Let's open a group and let's go there, all of us to go there, and then let's share ideas, and I'll share everything there. That's
Right.
why and I'm glad that you joined the group too.
Well, thank you. I was just saying earlier that we have social media sites. One of them is to connect with our peers and our colleagues.
Mhm.
But the other one is absolutely to be looking for your ideal client, for setting yourself up as a home stager. Now, I see that Louise has left us because she's got another job that she's gone to. So that's great, because you know what? I'm hearing so many stagers are so busy right now. I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about now. How about Houzz for you? Do you use that very much?
I do have an account with Houzz. I used to be more active. Like I was more active like years ago, but since everything has just gotten so busy, I have to choose
Yes.
the one that works for me, because I cannot, unfortunately, I cannot like be in every social media platforms.
Absolutely. And I was talking about this earlier, sort of showing this little diagram that, there's so many social media sites now, right? It's
That's
like,
right.
even from when I started a long time ago, I mean, it was just Facebook and Twitter, and I wasn't a Twitter fan because that's, okay, I'm a little bit older than you, Red, and it was just, was not a space that I really like. Even though, with Hootsuite, everything's connected to Twitter, but honestly, I don't go in there, so I don't get a lot of engagement. But you're quite right. So which would you say are the best sites for looking for ideal clients for stagers that you have found?
For me, Twitter and Facebook works the best for me.
Okay.
I know it's different for everybody, but
Yes.
I found it easier, and you can it's direct. You can immediately, when you post something, and everybody can see it right away, and they can react to it right away.
Yes.
And I have so many calls, like from referrals, from media, from everybody, because they saw the project in Twitter, or they saw it in Facebook.
Right.
So that's the best platforms that really works for me when it
That's
comes
great
to
for you. So,
running
and let's
business.
talk about engagement, because, for me, in the beginning, I didn't really realize how important the engagement was, but we got to get engaged. It's not just about post, whatever, right? So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a thing too, right? Like it's social media, so you have to be there. You have to interact. You have to be social. Otherwise, if you just post and leave, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's why it's social media, right? And you have to be sincere with your replies.
Yes.
And you cannot talk about yourself every time, all the time,
Yeah.
because nobody's gonna listen, right? As soon as they smell that you're selling something, they're gone.
Absolutely. And that's a really, really good point, because in fact, Facebook will close down your account if you start trying to sell to people, and nobody wants to be sold to on those social media sites. It's like, please, right?
I agree.
So Louise, we thought you had to go. I know you have to go off to another job.
Yes, I do, but actually the battery died on my computer.
Well, you know what? This is kind of what happens on the Google Hangouts, and it can happen in staging jobs too, right? Just go with it, be flexible, have fun, don't take life that seriously, people. Yeah, but Red, I wanted to ask you about the media. So you have posted some before and afters, or why are they contacting you?
I usually post. I post everything, right? Like after a project, especially if a staging went well, or it's went over asking.
Yeah.
I usually blog about it.
Excellent.
write something about it, and I post it in social media, in Google, in Twitter, in Facebook, and they might not want to read it, but it's there,
Yes.
right? They'll see it, and chances are, if they like the picture, they will click on it to see it.
Right. And that's
So,
actually another really good point is about, just because you post something now, or same with this show, this Google Hangout show, I'm going to put it up on my YouTube channel, but people can watch it whenever. Somebody might see this in another year. So if you've done a particular project and somebody types in keyword search for something that you've done or some area, those will still come up. That's the beauty of it.
that's true. I agree.
Yeah.
And I think too is like those postings that we do in social media, like for example in Facebook and Twitter, for me, like it has picked up so much attention. We've been featured in a newspaper, we've been featured in a magazine, we've been featured in like a lot of articles in Globe and Mail, and that is
Nice.
everything stems from the pictures in social media because you get noticed, they
Yeah.
see it, you put it out there, so they see it.
That's
And
fabulous.
and that's the thing too, right? When they make they do something, like they make a write up about you and your company. If it's for example Globe and Mail or Toronto Life, if they link back to your site from that article, then your ranking goes up because that's a
Absolutely.
very
Yeah.
credible site, and
Yeah.
it's ranking like up there, so it kind of helps you ranks better too.
Absolutely. It all helps. And a few weeks ago, I interviewed Tori Toth. Now,
Mhm.
Tori decided she came from the TV industry, and she was a reporter. So she decided, along with her newsletters that she did at first, that she wanted to do a lot of YouTube videos. So she now has like 200,000 views
Oh, she's amazing.
on her YouTube channel, and I look forward to see what she's posting or what she's doing. And her videos are they're fun, but they're good content, right? Because that's what people want to read. You want to be posting things that people want to read, not something that who could care less about that, right? Yeah. And Louise, for you in Chilliwack, you have a local newspaper, right?
Yes, we have two local newspapers, but they're owned by the same company, I think.
Oh, are they? Okay. And have you been featured in those?
Not as yet, but I'm sure it's going to happen.
Oh, all right. I'm going to put that up there as a challenge then, right? Yeah, because I think, too, regardless of your market, it's just something that's going to interest somebody, right? And social media is still the place. You could even post on some of those newspaper sites,
That's true.
right? And just see
I've
what's
been
going.
featured in the Friends magazine a couple
Oh, good. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Okay, so we're going to wrap up. It's been fun. It's been interesting. So last question for you, Red. How much time do you spend on social media? And what would you suggest for people is a good amount?
Social media can be time consuming, so you really have to put a limit to yourself. I say for me it's an hour. Like before I leave, like I do an hour in the morning, and then at night, if I still have time after staging, or if I still wanted to work on something, then I go online for another hour, probably
Wow.
2 hours.
Every day?
That's it.
Every day?
Every day.
Wow,
Every day.
that's disciplined.
And you have to reply to questions as well, and you have to, as I've said, you have to engage, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's really critical. I think that's a lot that you do. But like I said, you're younger than me, so you're definitely a night person. I'm not. I'm a morning person. I get a lot of my blogging down in the morning, but because I can be at my computer, right, I can check in. But it's the engagement. It's, get talking to people, like what they've said, but not just like don't just go through the like. Get engaged. What's interesting about it? And it's even good if you disagree with what somebody has said, right, Rad?
That's true. That's true. I mean, you have to give your 2 cents. Otherwise, you're just one of the It's always nice to give your insights as well. Like,
Yes, I think so. And you know, if I really don't like something, honestly, I won't say anything about it because
Yep.
it's not what's the point. But if I do like something, I let people know, and I appreciate it when they let me know as well. But the engagement is really key. And Louise, I know you said that you use Red. Do you use Hootsuite? Hootsuite?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. I
Yeah.
do.
I need to sign off, I'm afraid.
Well, don't be afraid. Goodbye and good luck on this job.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you, Louise.
Yeah, she's already done 2 stages today, and now she's going
Wow.
out to do another one. I know. We
Okay,
are
thanks.
amazing.
Good
Okay,
luck.
bye, Louise. Yeah. So, Red, any parting words for newbies starting out?
You know what? You just have to try it. The social media is amazing. I mean, it's free. It's out there, and it's immediate. So, but then you have to try it. You cannot just watch on the side and wish
Right.
that everything's gonna happen. And you have to be. That's the thing too. You have to be consistent as well.
Right.
You have to be patient and you have to be consistent. It's not gonna happen in overnight.
Right.
It takes time, but it will happen for sure.
Yes. I absolutely agree with you. And I know that I've built my business up through social media as well, even though I started using it before you were even in the business.
Mhm.
But I really like it. I like to get engaged. And it's really nice when I've met so many great people that I would never have met, right?
Me too.
And I was talking to somebody saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to have Red on the show. And they said, oh, I wish I could be on the show with him. He's so great. I said, okay. All right, well, I'll tell him, right? So it's nice. And also now that I'm doing the Hangouts, because Google is the #1 search engine, but Google owns YouTube, so YouTube is the #2 search engine. So, that this might be a platform that people want to go to in the future as well, even just having their own YouTube channel and
I
doing
agree.
short videos and showing people how to do things as well. So, Red, I thank you so much for being on the program today.
You're welcome.
And to Louise as well, who's gone. And in a couple of weeks, I'm actually going to have a program called Sales Follow-Up.
Okay.
And that is one that's so important to stagers. And Louise was saying, she knows because I used to coach her a lot, that sales follow-up, the fortune is in the follow-up. And if we don't follow up, it's the same with following someone on a post, right? You want to keep the engagement going, but if you just stop it, then I don't think it's right that you can expect something to happen from it, right? Because you don't put the effort into it. Yeah.
And you cannot assume that that they're not interested. Sometimes you were thinking, oh, they didn't call because they're not interested anymore. But honestly, they wouldn't. Sometimes they lost their number or they're busy with something. And when you follow up, oh my God, I've been waiting for you. I've been looking for you.
Yeah.
So you have to follow up.
Yeah.
It is important. It's true. I
It's
agree.
really important. So I'm going to do a whole hangout on that. So thanks again. And I will get this posted, and then you can put this out to your tribe as well so they can watch it too. So thanks so much.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah, you too.